I'm sorry I'm late.
Darling. Darling? What's wrong?
Robert's found out.
Oh, my God. Where is he?
Well, he's not here.
Well, he might have followed you.
Well, he didn't. I saw him go.
Go? Go where?
Work.
He might have pretended to go to work. He might be here now, lurking in a bush. He might be spying on us this very moment through those, what do you call them, binoculars. I better go. Phone me tomorrow at the office. Use the phone box, disguise your voice.
Well, that's not going to solve anything. He knows. He knows everything.
He knows who I am.
Yes.
He knows what I do.
Yes.
He knows where I live.
Yes.
God. Are you sure he went to work?
Yes. He's rehearsing his fight for television tonight. A return bout with the Masked Ripper.
He'll kill me.
Well, he had to find out sometime. It couldn't go on like this.
Why not? We only met yesterday. Some men get away with it for years. Some men never get found out at all. How did he find out? Who told him?
The clerk at the hotel recognized me.
Recognized you? In that squalid place? No luggage, paid by the hour. Have you been there before?
No, I have not.
Well, then how did he recognize you?
He's my brother-in-law.
Then why do we go there?
I thought he was off duty.
Well, he wasn't off duty, was he? He was standing there behind the desk watching us register. Didn't even get reduced rates. That stupid name we used. Mr. and Mrs. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I mean, he might not necessarily have thought it as stupid as far as I was concerned, but he must have thought it faintly unusual as far as you were concerned. I mean, when we saw him, why didn't we just turn around and go?
I don't know. Call it madness. I wanted you so much, I just didn't care.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Well, it happened to me. Once, that's all, once.
4 times?
I mean, one occasion. Never done anything like this before. It's the first time.
Everybody's entitled to one lapse.
Not the chairman of the Marriage Guidance Council. I'm expected to save marriages. I mean, you came into my office yesterday for advice. 2 hours later, we were in bed together. People aren't going to understand that.
We'll face them together.
Sorry. You'll have to face them together on your own. This gets out, my career could be in ruins. What did he say when he found out?
He didn't say anything. He just stood there, stunned. And then he slowly crushed the telephone in his hand, put me in a Boston crab, and threw me across the room.
Poor darling.
It didn't hurt. I've learned how to fall over the years.
What does he intend to do?
Oh, he's going to divorce me, name you as correspondent, and sue you for damages.
Did he say sue or inflict? Think it might be important.
Oh, definitely sue.
I could never survive a divorce case. Oh, there must be something we can do. I mean, good heavens, marriage guidance counselors have faced these problems every day of their lives. Wait a minute. Yes, case number 4572. Mrs. A had an affair with Mr. B. Now, I advise Mr. A to forgive Mrs. A and take a second honeymoon. Go on a world cruise. Oh, no, that's no good.
Why? What happened?
He stuffed her out the porthole. They'd only got as far as Southend. Think. Look, why don't you, couldn't you just throw yourself on his mercy? Say you're repentant, you're disgusted by the whole thing, and beg him to take you back.
But I don't want him to take me back. I can't stand him. That's the problem I came to see you about yesterday. I want a divorce.
Nonsense. You only think you do. You really love him. Desperately. No. No, it's a recognizable pattern. No, my advice to you, madam, is to forget about this other man, to put him out of your mind completely.
But it's you.
All right, then, forget about me, if you want to be precise. No good will come of it.
But I love you.
Rubbish. have you considered children at all? I mean, perhaps that's what's missing in your marriage. Children can bind a marriage together, you know. Yes, that's it. You go home now and have a baby.
I'd have your baby.
Don't say things like that. You must forget about me. I'm not worth it. We're just two ships that passed in the night.
The afternoon?
The afternoon, same thing.
No, it's not. It's better in the afternoon. With the sunlight streaming across your naked body.
I will not be a party in a divorce case. Go home to your husband. He loves you and needs you.
He doesn't. He wants a divorce. He says his pride has been hurt terribly. He wants to make an example of you. He says anybody who uses his position as you have should be exposed.
Look. Look, he must be an intelligent man. Top wrestler like him. I mean, couldn't he be persuaded to settle out of court? Forget the whole sordid episode.
Sordid episode? That's all it was to you?
Oh, no. I assure you, it was an unforgettable experience. I just think we should forget about it, that's all. No good living in the past.
You want to get rid of me?
No, of course I don't. Look. I'll tell you what. Why don't you go home now, persuade him to settle out of court, and then in a few years' time, you can get quietly divorced, and I'll be waiting for you.
Do you love me?
Yes, of course I do.
And you'll wait for me?
Yes.
Promise?
Yes.
I'll do it.
Good. While he was throwing you about the room, did he mention a figure at all?
You mean money?
Yes. How much does he reckon you're worth? It's worth. To restore his honor.
Well, he was raving. He spoke in thousands.
How many? 2? 3? 3.5? Just under 4?
I think I heard him mention 5, just before I hit the French windows.
Oh, all right. What's your name?
You've forgotten already?
No, your married name.
Oh, Thomas.
Robert Thomas. Does he bank under that name or the Streatham Strangler?
I think he mentioned making it out to cash. Then I passed out.
£5,000.
Only.
Oh, yes, only. Yes, thank you. There. I've post-dated it. Now, I shall expect a signed statement exonerating me and waiving all further claims against me.
I'll tell him. You're going, then?
Yes, I must. I must get back to the office. There are a number of broken marriages awaiting my attention. Goodbye.
Bye. When I'm divorced, I shall come to you.
Oh, yes, that'll be nice. Look forward to that. Don't get in touch with me in the meantime. Well, it's goodbye then.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, I hope he wins tonight.
It's his turn.
Darling.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Darling. Darling, what's wrong?
Robert's found out. I'm sorry I'm late.
Darling, what's wrong?
Robert's found out.
My God.
It had to happen. Couldn't keep it a secret much longer.
I suppose not. I knew it was something important when you telephoned me at the office.
You didn't mind me telephoning you?
No. You did the right thing. Oh, I've been dreading this moment.
He had to find out sometime.
Yes, but so soon. How much does he know?
Everything.
Oh, my God. What did he say?
He just stood there looking at me. Then he said, I know about you and him.
How awful for you.
I shall never forget the look of reproach on his face.
Oh, I blame myself. We should have told him sooner.
Well, we always meant to. Somehow I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Now to learn from somebody else. It's terrible. Who told him?
One of his friends.
It's always a friend. How can they mind their own damn business?
They all knew about it. He was the only one who didn't.
Oh, yes, it's always like that.
We should have told him when he first suspected. Do you remember that summer holiday? Just the three of us. You, me, and Robert. And we stayed on that farm in Yorkshire.
What a beautiful little room that was. Bed was a bit crowded, I suppose, but...
Do you remember we were out walking and Robert said, Daddy, where did I come from? And you said St. John's Wood. That's when you should have told him.
I couldn't. The boy was only 4 years old. Far too young to begin sex education.
Well, you've had plenty of opportunities since.
Somehow it never seemed the right moment.
Well, he knows now.
Never forgive myself. It's a father's responsibility to tell his son about these things. I failed that boy.
We've both failed him.
I had it all planned, how I was going to tell him. I had it all worked out, believe me. I mean, it's only 3 months since I brought the rabbits home. We all stood round the cage waiting for something to happen.
Yes, both females.
The man at the shop said they were one of each.
Well, you should have known. I mean, how can you educate your own son when you don't know anything about it yourself?
Wait a minute. Who doesn't? You've got no complaints in that direction.
Neither has a pair of rabbits. That doesn't mean to say they know anything about it. They just do it. It's instinct.
Are you comparing me with a rabbit? Is that how I appear to you in our...
Well, go on, say it.
Well, in our private life?
You see? What chance has the boy got? You're inhibited.
I'm not inhibited.
Well, why do you have to say private life? Why do you have to use these euphemisms? I'm a grown woman. We've been married for years.
I merely said private life out of regard for your sensibilities. I know how you hate people being crude.
Now, look, don't you put your inhibitions onto me. You were inhibited long before I met you. You have this psychological inability to call anything connected with the human body and its functions by its proper name.
What a load of old... bodily waste.
You see? It's true.
Not true.
You've been inhibited about our private life for years.
I'm a perfectly well-adjusted, normal, healthy male. All right. If you want me to talk dirty, I'll talk dirty. When we cohabitate. There.
There's no need to use language like that. You've done enough damage as it is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, who was it insisted that I sew up his trousers pockets? Who was it that took a pair of scissors to the medical books and cut out all the illustrations?
Just didn't want him to find out anything before he was ready, that's all. I just thought. You don't think he ever watched us, do you?
No, he couldn't have. You always switched the light out.
He could have had a torch.
Well, we would have seen the beam.
Not necessarily. You usually have a pillow over your head, and I keep my eyes shut.
Yes. Yes, why do you keep your eyes shut?
I don't know. I've always kept my eyes shut. It helps me concentrate.
You think you're with somebody else, don't you?
No. I always imagine I'm with you.
Well, if you kept your eyes open, you wouldn't have to imagine me. You'd see me.
No, I wouldn't. You usually have a pillow over your head.
That's because I can't stand watching you with your eyes shut.
I know you can't. That's why I switch the light off. What do you want from me, Helen?
I want you to talk to Robert, that's what I want. Find out how much he knows and then tell him the rest of it.
What, everything?
Yes, everything. I don't want him to become inhibited like you.
Well, you talk to him then.
Well, it's not my place to talk to him. You're his father. It's your place to tell the boy. It's my place to tell the girl, if we had one.
Now, you're not blaming that on me. You said no more. You said one's enough. You said if man had to go through what you went through, there'd be no children born in this world. That's what you said. I remember. Oh, how I remember.
I was in a highly emotional state at the time.
I realized that. Did you have to lock me out of your room for 3 years?
That's all you think about. My God, you're such an animal.
Animal? Any other man would have broken your door down. Oh, isn't it marvelous? 5 minutes ago, I was inhibited. Now I'm an animal.
Yes, you are. The worst kind. An inhibited animal.
What the hell is an inhibited animal? Name me one breed. Come on.
Oh, that poor child. This could affect his whole life. You could twist him.
All right, I won't talk to him.
Well, you've got to talk to him. God knows what those dirty-minded friends of his have told him.
All right, I'll talk to him.
When?
Tonight.
Tonight? He's at home now. God knows what he's going through. Why not now?
Now? It's my lunch hour. I'm hungry. Then I've got to go straight back to work.
But isn't our son's future more important than the office? Do you want him to grow up maladjusted?
My dear woman, back at the office, there's a whole waiting room full of maladjusted people. I mean, I have a duty to them. What sort of psychiatrist am I if I just rush off home leaving my patients?
You've got a duty to your son. His mind is just as important as theirs
I'll
is.
talk to him tonight.
Tonight may be too late. The damage may already have been done. Now.
Can't. Got to go back to the office. I'll telephone him.
What kind of sex instruction can you give over the phone?
Well, I can tell him not to do anything till I get there.
And then what will you tell him?
I don't know. I haven't made up my mind.
Well, it can't be very difficult. Your father was a doctor. What did he tell you?
Nothing. I couldn't afford his fees. My entire sexual education consisted of £5 and a letter of introduction to one of his patients.
And this is what you plan for Robert?
Oh, no. She must be 78 by now.
My poor child. Anything could happen to him.
Oh, don't worry. I'll think of something to tell him.
Well, you're a psychiatrist. You should have it already worked out.
You don't say the same thing to everybody. Each case is different. First, I've got to find out how much he knows.
He knows everything. I'm sure he does.
How do you know he knows everything?
It was the way he looked at me. It was as if I'd done something dirty.
Well, we did.
Oh, for God's sake, we had a child, that's all. Poor child, waiting at home, waiting to hear words of comfort and reassurance from his own father.
Yes. It does sound as though he might have a problem. Perhaps he'd better get a second opinion.
We haven't even had a first one yet.
Well, perhaps I could be the second opinion and we could get somebody else to be the first opinion. I mean, it would be better, you know, to have a disinterested outside party talk to the lad.
You're trying to dodge your responsibilities.
No, I am not. Dr. Shaftel is a highly respected, very well-known and very expensive child psychiatrist. Most eminent man in his field, an international reputation. I guarantee that within 6 months he'll have Robert straightened out completely.
I am not having that man go anywhere near our son. He's a nutcase. He needs treatment himself.
Your opinion of Dr. Shaftel has never been the same since you found out he was having a love affair with a married woman.
That married woman was his mother.
Perfectly normal, straightforward, run-of-the-mill Oedipus complex. Could have been his father. Then I'd have agreed with you.
And this is the man you want to treat our son?
Certainly. Nothing else wrong with the man.
I insist that you talk to him yourself.
I'd rather not.
You're embarrassed, aren't you? You're embarrassed to talk to your own son.
This is ridiculous. Rob and I are perfectly well adjusted to each other. Why, we're like brothers.
You're supposed to be his father.
It's perfectly natural for a father to be a brother to his son.
You've always been frightened of growing old, haven't you?
There's nothing wrong with dyeing one's hair, even on the legs. And the chest.
And that's not all.
I can only assume you are referring to one thing. Namely, my membership of the Dennis the Menace fan club. Well, we didn't exclude you. You could have joined. You could have had your Nasher badge and your club wallet and your book of club secrets, but no. Oh, no, you're far too superior to read the Beano, aren't you? Oh, yes. Very hoity-toity, la-di-bloody-da with your Jean Plaidies and your Agatha Christies. But I tell you, it's not just Robert and me. No, we're not the only ones that read the Beano. We're a growing band. Our members are everywhere. In Parliament, in the Cabinet, Warden of All Souls College, Oxford, Archbishop of Canterbury. Oh, yes. The Bash Street kids rule, okay?
This is not helping Robert. Robert, your son.
Robert, how is he?
He's found out.
Is he? What about?
The facts of life.
Ah, yes, you were telling me.
But when you're going to start acting like a father?
What that boy needs is a brother.
Well, you must admit that in that role you play the part of older brother.
Yes, I grant you that.
And older brothers always tell their younger brothers the facts of life.
True.
Then why haven't you?
Well, we were having too much fun. Football, cricket, canoeing. Besides, I didn't want to spoil the most beautiful period of a boy's life by talking to him about smut. Don't worry, I'll talk to Dr. Chaptel this afternoon. We'll get it all straightened out. A little bit of aversion therapy, and Robert will soon forget the whole silly nonsense.
What's aversion therapy?
Oh, it's marvelous. Every time he thinks about sex, he'll vomit. Yes, Robert will soon be back to how he was before. We'll be back to cricket and football and toad hunting.
But I don't want him to forget. I want him to know. But in the proper way, like any normal child.
Fine, all right. In a few years' time, we'll reverse the treatment, and then I'll talk to him.
You're going to put it off again?
It's not a matter of putting it off. It's a matter of finding the right moment. Look at the time. I'm 10 minutes late for Mrs. Weinstock. She'll be lying on the floor screaming. I'll talk to you tonight, darling.
Well, don't forget, it's Robert's birthday tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Another one already? How old is he now? 9, 10?
23.
How old is that? My word, how time flies.
I think I'll go and buy him something now.
I saw a wonderful train set in Harrods last week.
Oh, no, not another train set. Why can't we buy him something else? What about a pair of stilts? Or, a new cowboy suit? He's grown right out of the last one.
Oh, no, please. A train, it's a smashing train set. It's got tunnels and mountains, and you should see the sidings. You can shunt 4 trains in and out at the same time. It's wonderful. Robert can be the station master, and I can work the signals.